So we're at the end of Season 1, and it's been a good season. We just missed out on a European Cup spot, one place out of the Bundesliga, and lost in the DFB Pokal final. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for me. Follow us on Twitter at TotalFIFACM, on Instagram at TotalFIFACareerMode, and of course, find our website at TotalFIFACareerMode.com. You know, it was an up and down season, and we had some missed opportunities. We got off to a little bit of a rough start, particularly in the early going, and it really took us a little while to hit our stride. You see, August and September were up and down, had some wins, had some losses. A big win against Dortmund. I really thought we were going to build on that, but it was, a little tough against some of the mid-tier teams, and we had a big win at Leverkusen in October, but we just were unable to build on any of the momentum throughout the season. Even when we had a big win, it really just, we couldn't add to it. We had a big injury with Max Eggestein in the middle of the season. He missed some time. But we did have success in the DFB Pokal, and that was very promising. We had some big wins. We beat Bayern in December. We beat Dortmund earlier in the year. We played well. We beat some good teams and then lost to some teams we shouldn't have lost to. So, which I guess is pretty characteristic of some mid-table teams. And so on any given day we could beat anybody, as you saw really in the tournament. But at the same time we could lose to anybody on any given day too. So there was a real inconsistency, and we've got a young team, and that was to be expected. So, at the end of the day, as you saw, we made a late run in March and had a couple wins in April, but in the end, it wasn't enough. We had a couple key losses down the stretch, and we were just on the cusp of European football, but we got into May, and a couple of key losses and a tough schedule down the road at the end of the season, and it just didn't work out for us. But all in all, it was a good season. It was a good season. We're on the cusp of things. We grew. We had some real positives. Phil Foden was an absolute star for us. He was our MVP. He was second in the league in goals, third in assists. He didn't make the team of the year, which is a FIFA problem, but we won't even get into that. Max Eggestein was great. Weston McKennie, Francisco Trincao was second on the team in goals. We really had some positive performances from them. Jeremy Doku was far and away our most improved player. He improved a ton during the year. The only thing holding him back from being an absolute stud right now is stamina. He created as many goals as you see there as anybody outside of Foden and Trincao. Now, it wasn't all good news. Johannes Eggestein, Josh Sargent, Noah Okafor, they really didn't come through for us, and that's something we're going to have to look at moving forward. And we do have some moves in the books to really to improve this team going into next year. Now it's time to move forward. We're through the 1920 season. It's time for 2021, and we've got some moves to make. And that's, as you see us, we're getting set up. We're going to play an exhibition tournament just for the money and to give some of these young guys some time. But you look at the team that we're entering this. We ended the season with this team basically. And the only guy missing here is Owen Vindal, who was hurt. But that's basically the lineup we're working with right now. And there is room for improvement, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. If there was one issue, it wasn't in scoring goals, it was preventing them. And that back line, we played a 3-back set for most of the year in this 3-4-2-1. This was our primary formation. But Simakan did not have a great year. Beal did nicely, but we've got some room for improvement back there, and I think that's really going to be a focal point of this offseason. Sangare can drop back there. McKennie's probably our best center back. I just hate wasting him back there because he's also a good midfield and offensive player, but the defensive side of the ball is really where we're going to focus on. Now, we were able to sell some guys off, and you see the money we've collected. The big one's going to be Johannes Eggestein. He doesn't have a lot of growth in front of him, and we got $11 million for him. $8 million is going to go into the pot for buying new guys. So you see the sales that we've made so far. There's probably more to come. We're still early in the preseason here, but at the moment it looks like we're going to have, after we adjust the sliders a little bit, 30, maybe a little more, but $30 million to work with is really what we are looking at here, and that's enough to get a couple of decent players or one really good player? And that's the debate I'm having right now. And that's where I could use your help. So like I said, the focus is going to be on defense. And I've narrowed it down to two guys that really fit what we're trying to do. Toon Koopmeyers and Sander Berge. And what I'm looking for is guys who can play center back, because I definitely need to improve there, but who are also able to move around the pitch. Because when it comes down to it, we've got a lot of versatile players, and we have some depth at center back. Badashil and Simikan are still going to play, but if I could upgrade the starters in those positions, that would be huge, while also finding guys who can fill in at defensive midfielder and in those left and right mids, and both of these guys can do that. So these are guys that can fill in for a lot of spots for me, and that's important because we have some holes to fill in the short term. Liberato Kaseki got hurt during the preseason. Max Eggerstein's going to be suspended for 2 games because of a dumbass red card that we got at the end of the 3rd exhibition game. My fault. So, and those are short term. We're not going to make plans based on that. But it's nice to have guys. It kind of accentuates the point that we need guys that can fill into those spots. So rather than find guys who are pure center backs, if I can find players who can be true center backs but also play in different spots in the pitch, that's really valuable to me. So Koopmeyers and Sander Berge are really the two that I've narrowed down on that fit what we're trying to do. Now, it looks like I can only afford one of them. So here's what I'm going to put it to you. This is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm really excited to see how this turns out. I'd like you to vote. I'd like to see which one of these guys you'd like me to sign. And I think I've got enough money to sign either one of them, but definitely not both as much as I'd like them. So whichever one you vote for me to sign, that's who I'm going to go and at least attempt to get to. And if I fail or if I don't have enough money, you'll see it. We're going to do this in the next episode. We're going to put a poll on Twitter and also in the comments. So vote on Twitter, TotalFIFACM, but also you can vote in the comments and I'll tally both. And that's who we're going to go with. Whichever one of these two you guys tell me to go with, that's who I'm gonna try to sign. So that's it for this episode. Hit that subscribe button for me if you haven't already. And as always, this is Total FIFA Career Mode.